Okay, that's up and running.
It's hot.
Sandy left the credits running. Welcome everyone to our next session of D&D, which once again we are out without Murgy, so who's still out for the migraine. This has been 3 weeks now. So yes, hence the title. Spent the last week traveling back, so let's correct the day counter. So we're now on day 10. As the players arrive back at the deserted bastion, having finally found people to, having acquired people to work for them.
What have we told these people on the way back?
I'm assuming I would have given the foreman a good brief on what I wanted doing on the way back, considering
Okay,
3 days
but
to get back.
what I meant in terms of, are you still treating them as slaves, or is this whole employment thing?
You know, slavery is a form of employment. It was in ancient Rome, but
Slaves with the promise of being able to earn their freedom and become employed expediently.
That just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
Sounds like a cult.
No, that's employees with extra steps. The big problem we're going to have to discuss on our ride back is financial. We need money, and we need it fast.
We do. After you wasted your money on Rune Man.
Yes, and we should also confine him somewhere to safe, and try and figure out what the fuck is up with him.
We don't have doors. I don't think we have anywhere to confine him.
Well, again, we've got people to work on that. We just need to.
So we just leave him waiting for a few seconds, for a few minutes.
So they're slaves with the ability to work off their contract and become loyal employees.
yeah, we can establish doors. Doors, get some woodcutters out there, chop down some trees, and plane the wood and everything. Build doors.
I believe we also have 2 ships.
That's a question. What do we get?
We
What do we do about
get to keep them? We don't think we get to keep them.
I mean, if we did, we could sell one.
Well, no, but the pirates still exist. They would want their ships back.
Yes.
Okay, but do they need both of them?
The pirate captain exists, who I'm going to try and convince to join. That I did put out the ability to join us.
That depends entirely on how she feels about this whole thing, because she did say, and Hawk can correct me on this, we'll get your guy back and we'll see how things are.
Yeah,
and then you threaten.
And now she's alone with all of us.
And her crew is gone.
Well, no, there were still some people left at the I think Hawk said there were still some people like asleep in buildings and stuff as part of a group. So
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, that and her crew
Again-
from the other ship still exists.
yeah, so
Yeah.
well, it depends on what she wants to do because technically her other crew did kind of kill the rest of her crew and fuck off.
If we
Yeah,
need
how
money,
is
you
she
should get
feeling?
If we need money, you should get El Toro a rematch with that guy in the arena. He wouldn't survive 1-on-1.
No, we don't need to draw any more attention to us there. So how is she feeling at the moment? The pirate captain.
Hungry.
Hmm.
Supplies were starting to run pretty low on the way back.
Okay, looks like some of us are going to have to go hunting. Because we don't exactly have the money for a lot right now.
Well, we can always slice a piece off of El Toro, heal him, and then cook that.
I don't think I have the spells, to heal him and regrow his flesh.
I don't think El Toro would like it either.
No.
Yeah, I still think we should, since we don't have money at all at this point to buy supplies, I think those of us that aren't working on the bastion should probably go hunt, bring something back to feed everybody.
I mean, we got something from the arena fight, but it probably wouldn't be enough to.
Well, again, we don't have that money. One of us has that money. And I'm not sure how much 50 gold is going to get us. And if it's going to feed everybody, so it might be prudent to see if we can find any wild animals in the area, hunt them, and, well, bring them back to cook.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, we have the Kami of the fishing spear. We should put him to work fishing for the moment.
Well, have him fit, yeah, but we could also get some more in as well. It can be fish, but we could also get some other meat as well. We might, need it for the coming days. Because some of us, if you remember, do not have building skills.
Well, as I said, that would definitely secure you food if you put
Yeah.
Ryoshi to work.
I mean, I'm happy to go hunting around the local area for meat. For, like, deer or something.
As a quick interest, would it not be best to send Roshi to the village and have him whip that village into a perfectly good fishing village?
I suppose that's a thought.
That's it. I suppose he could go try and get them some kind of local economy going.
No, but if he's like this expert fisherman, he'll be able to whip that town into shape in a couple of days.
Yeah, but
that's
there's
a
not many
point.
people left there.
Hmm.
Yeah, you kind of most of them got sold into slavery.
I'm sure they're not going to be happy that we didn't get everybody back either.
Yeah. If anything, they're more likely to come here than want to be there.
So we could establish a little fishing thing here, like those of them that, because I believe Alex wanted to have some of his slaves learn the physical skills, like to build, but any leftover, well, I don't know what Trigger wants to do with his elves, but some of us don't have servants, and I suppose it wouldn't be amiss if me, El Toro, and his orc went hunting for meat, because that's more people to carry it back. And if Ryoshi wants to do fishing, that means we can at least secure food for ourselves, the slaves, and even the pirate captain. I mean, we do owe her for the whole, losing all of her crew.
My movement speed just increased, so I could probably chase something down.
Well, yeah, you and me are both good for gaining ground. Because I have my rabbit hop stuff as well.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at what sort of animals to expect because I don't think. Yeah, deer, wild boar. Just got to be careful because there might be lions and bears and wolves.
No, we'll try and be quiet. We'll try and be quiet enough to. We don't want to kill too many deer that it changes the local layout of lions moving a bit closer.
There's
you might be
deer,
overthinking
mice,
this somewhat.
foxes, squirrels, beavers, bears, wild pigs, and much more.
Here's the thing, though. The barracks are self-sustainable. This whole conversation trying to be insane a little bit.
Well, again, we don't know. We didn't know that.
No, you do know that because I told you that when he said he was bringing in the barrack system.
That was weeks ago, and we didn't go through everything. So I might have forgotten that one. So what you're saying is we already have supplies then?
Well, no, but they fend for themselves when it comes to food and farming, and it becomes a community thing.
Okay, so we don't have to go looking for food then.
Hence why you don't need to go into the where do they live and stuff, because yes, they have houses that are off site with their families and stuff, but when you start thinking about it, you start compiling a problem that doesn't exist until you start thinking about it.
It's more food for you that.
Yeah.
And I would actually say that they weren't too far off, for the first couple of days, because at the moment you don't even have doors. So it's I don't think it's going too far with it. Seeing, as I said, you're
no, but when you start saying, "I don't want to go kill deers because it might change the economical environment status and bring lions upon us,"
saying it killed too many of them. But yeah, maybe overthinking that one a bit too much.
That's what I say. I think you're overthinking it at that point.
I'm overthinking the ecological changes, but I'm not overthinking we kind of need food for us.
Right. How far away? The village wasn't far away, was it?
No.
Well, there was a tavern on the way.
Yeah.
No. So if we were to use that as a temporary residence, have Ryoshi go and set up the villagers back into a fishing village, then we go to the town and see if there's anything on the wanted board, and if it involves us going into a forest, we can then go hunt. We can hunt stuff while we're out there for us. Meanwhile, Ryoshi can get the rest of the village set up and fishing, and this guy who I put in charge of as a foreman can set up all his workers.
The problem I'm
refitting the bastion.
The problem I'm trying to bring up is the remaining population of the village are here with you.
Yeah, you've enslaved the village.
No, there was quite a few left in the village when we left.
There were the old people.
Many. Yeah, the old people who were only going to get fed to lions and stuff anyway.
The problem is
they took all the healthy younger people. That village is going to die.
Because you own them.
Yeah.
We could theoretically offer, since we technically might, I hate saying this, own most of their family that's left, we could probably offer an olive branch for them to move into the bastion and,
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. You get the bastion up and running the first couple of days, and then use that as your trading port. And then have the villagers live back in the village once you've got the bastion sorted, so that they can, because it's not that far away.
Well, also the fact that at the bastion they're probably safer there than they would be alone in the village because they are old.
and also the fact that they're not going to really want to be there because they'll have seen lots of their friends killed.
Well, yeah. So
there.
we could send an envoy down to invite them. Mention we managed to get some of the villagers back. Unfortunately, we couldn't get everyone. But if they want to come back to the Bastion for now, and they'd probably be safer with us than they would on their own in case someone comes back for them.
But on the other
'Cause
hand,
that
could
might-
we not release them, let them go back to their families, and then keep the village under our protection?
I would not be opposed to that, actually.
Because
That entire-
one way
again,
we're enslaving a village, the other way
again-
we're saving a village.
Well, again, I don't get a say in this because I don't own anybody. You, Ollie, and Trigger, Alex, by the way, do. So you guys decide this.
Well, no, you do have a say in this because your character can be opposed to.
Well, I'm opposed to owning people. Well, I think I've made it clear that Perrin is opposed to owning people.
I'm not
Because
sure
that's the thing.
Toro
One
understands
way
the
we are
concept.
imprisoning a village, and the other way we are saving them and
Well,
offering to protect them.
Well, again, Perrin's opinion on the whole thing would be I don't agree with owning them at all. I don't agree with that. I think they should have a choice as to whether or not they stay or go. But that's just Perrin's whole mindset of I'm not comfortable owning people.
Because the whole problem with the village doesn't have any able fishermen is because they're here. So if you release them, the town then has able fishermen again.
Well, again, fine. I've said it a few times, but I'll say it in character. I'm not opposed. I'm opposed to having owning any of these people. I know that we need the Bastion fixed, but I don't feel right using people.
But as we established, none of these people have the skills to do so.
Well, I've said what I think. So I've said what I think out and in character. Perrin does not agree with owning these people because we've just taken them. They've been taken already from their home, and now they've been taken by us.
I mean, to be fair, if they hadn't been taken by someone, they would have been fed to lions.
Yeah, I know that, but at this point, the point being is that we now have a choice.
Because remember, the original job we took was to save them, not enslave them.
I know that. That's why Perrin does not agree with this, with owning them. And saying, right now, I've bought you legally, now you have to do this.
My intention wasn't to keep them as slaves. It
3
was more...
episodes ago, Phil.
Yeah, my intention wasn't to keep them as slaves. It's more, I'm going to free them and very askily ask the foreman to train the other male members that I was told could learn masonry and carpentry, to train them to fix the bastion, just to work off what I bought them for. But they're still free to go home to their families. I'm not keeping them as actual slaves. It's more they're just working off what I paid for. It's a trade. I'm going to free them if they're willing to come and help us build the bastion back up.
I think
At which
it
point,
was
once the
Roots
bastions
2 weeks ago and Gladiator last week.
Yeah, how are they feeling about that deal? That I'm going to free them. I would like them to pay me off by helping fix the bastion and learning new skills. At which point, once the bastion's up and running, we can offer them protection and possibly hire them more. And then set up their village as a trading / fishing port. Sort of a give and go thing. I mean, how are the gentlemen I bought from the village feeling about that?
Yeah, they're quite happy with that. Yeah.
I mean, as I said, I can make a persuasion check on.
Again, if they are okay with it, Perrin is okay. As if they are okay with it, Perrin's not going to oppose their choice.
No, I'm going to free them.
yeah, I get it. Just again, Perrin's making it clear. I'm making it clear as Perrin that as long as they agree to it and they are completely okay with it, then she has no. She's not going to argue with you because they've made they've made their choice and they haven't been forced into making their choice. They've made it of their own free will. Also, I believe Ollie said that El Toro doesn't know what slavery is. So, does anyone want to explain it to him?
Well, I'm not sure he fully understands the concept.
Slavery,
Saying he
El
owns a
Toro, is
slave.
the yeah.
Yeah, he
You have bought a person and owned them, and they must work for you. You
can
without
choose
pay.
whether. Yeah, you can choose to let them go and have freedom, or you can keep them. Although, well, I've made it clear what I feel about it.
Basically, Phil,
indifferent to slavery.
these are people who were captured by bandits as the final assets available in a small fishing village. The party then bought them, some of them, and have brought them back to their camp, and now deciding whether they're comfortable putting them to work, or well, they're not really sure where they fit in the employment hierarchy. And they were just explaining to why did you guys buy slaves?
I didn't
Because
realize
it's
that
easier
was
to
what I
buy
was
them
doing.
than it is to because it's easier to buy them than it is to steal them.
Well, it was
Shoplifting
either that
them
or
is
let them get eaten
difficult.
by life.
Yeah,
It was either that or let them get eaten by life.
Yeah, they weren't very popular ones. They were going to end up as lion food. But yes, this is something that would probably appear on our RPG slash r/RPG horror story. As one of the party members suddenly decides, there's all this slavery. I had my ancestors were slaves.
Nah.
Again, it's law of the land in these times. Slavery is a thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't
I don't
really
know.
have to be as bad as the people doing it.
I
Okay.
already said I was freeing mine. I just want them to compensate me with some work and learn a new skill.
Mura could.
Okay, I guess I'm-
because Scotland, Sumerians and stuff, they helped build Rathamon's temples.
So I'm gonna go to my
Conan
orc and
reference.
Okay, here's the deal, brother. I'm not big on this whole ownership of people thing. If you got somewhere to go, I'm not gonna stop you. It'd be cool if you could stick around and help build this place or maintain it, or just be a workout buddy. Whatever you want to do.
I ain't got anywhere. I haven't really got anywhere to go.
You look like you can lift.
Yeah, you definitely didn't skip leg day or arm day. Basically, it's ancient Greece.
Help El Toro train, and I'm happy to let you stay here.
Yeah, he agrees with that.
All right, I got a training partner. Well, a
It's
workout
not
buddy.
like it's not like he would be particularly popular anyway.
I said the great thing is the Bastion. What's it called? You technically do have 3 NPCs at this point. Or was it 4 at this point? I think it's 4.
I think they were dead, weren't they?
No. Well, the thing is, when you in a Bastion, at our level, we've got 5 rooms apiece, which means we've got 1 NPC per room at least, depending upon the rooms. And as you automatically get the NPC for that room, it's like he's just one of those NPCs now.
Hmm. Well, as you've only just taken possession of it, they'll probably they'll turn up with a little bit of time.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
need to hire them.
Oh yeah, yeah. We need to fix a few things. So, okay. So, are some of us staying? Are we heading to the village to collect the elderly, or are we staying here to oversee work? Like, what are we doing?
Well, that's the problem. We say it's like, why would you go to the village to collect the elderly? That's their homes. You leave them there.
Yeah, I think we should send Ryoshi with the rest of the villagers I've just freed to go and sort out their village, and the foreman can start teaching the guys I want working for us to the skills they need to start doing the job. And then we can go and try and figure out a way to earn money somewhere else.
Okay,
That's the one
so
thing we're lacking.
put Ryoshi down here.
I'm not sure what
Okay,
Lena
so-
wants to do with her elves.
I've only
but
got one
I
elf.
don't really care.
I've got one elf.
I thought you bought two of them.
No, I bought the women from the village and a one elf.
Oh yeah, and one
Oh,
elf.
okay.
Yeah.
And there was only
Yeah,
one
yeah.
reason why I bought that one elf. Because she was a sea elf, and guess who's the best person to find the problem with the sea god?
Yep, that's sound reasoning.
It's like, where should we start investigating? I don't know. Let's ask the person who is directly in tune with the problem at hand.
Okay, so I assume that means Toro's going to have his guy go into his room, and so Toro's grabbing the first room.
I'm guessing my space would be more like a gym.
Well, as I said, he'll be working on that, and the others will be working on that because at the moment this place just smells like a tomb.
I mean, we did leave skeletons and slimes in here.
I mean,
Yeah.
El Toro feels weirdly at home in this place. So,
So, how many contractors or masonry people were there?
I don't know. I think I bought like 6 guys.
it's one.
Yeah, I
for
think that
me,
was them. Yeah, it's 5 of them because I linked them together. So they're the ones who are going to start working on the repairs. These other ones must be the villagers who were heading back. Those are the women and the sea elf. And a couple of these other ones from the other boat.
That's true. I had all those people from the other boat as well, didn't I?
Yeah,
Mm.
but I assume you're not going to be wanting them. You're going to be,
Oh no, I'm letting them all go.
yeah,
There was a rest. I got to know them over tea. Remember?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just separated Ryoshi's ones, so they're, as I said, they're the ones going back to the village. So go. That's them done. These ones. The first one's going to work on the door. I'm just going to go get some. Well, a couple of them are going to go and get wood. And they're going to start scrubbing the floors. Clean all this gunge up from the dead slimes.
Mm.
You know what would be a good idea?
What?
Well, we send a tiger killer squad to go clear the road of any dangerous animals.
They
They
brought
could
the tiger
literally-
with them.
They could literally be wearing the tiger skin as their new uniform as the patrol from our bastion to the village, and their job is to keep that road clear of anything that's dangerous.
Oh, what, the goblins?
Hmm.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
And they could literally bring back any animals they find as food while
That's
they're
true.
doing it.
That's a good idea. We should set those up as a as
Well,
a
they
guard
seem-
for the roads.
Tiger. It's like one of those. It sounds like a weird security company.
Yeah, it's a tiger transport team.
Yeah. Tiger security.
Yeah, they're now they're now in charge of the road between here and there. Plus,
That's
they're
when they start
small
hearing
and nimble.
That's
They're
when they
great at
start hearing
hiding.
tales about the
Yeah.
free city of Gobbo and. Goblins can be security guards, not thieves.
Goblins can be anything they
Goblins.
want.
But
A
what if
man- as a
goblins
man
wants to
once
be
said-
thieves?
If you want to, that's entirely up to you.
Plus, who's the best? They're the best people to detect thieves because they know what they're looking for.
Yes.
So if there's a thief on the road, they know to detain the motherfucker.
Sorry, Jeff. You're going to have to be detained. Why? Because I know you're a thief. But
We can smell our own.
yeah, they leave fake messages in thieves' cant and stuff around, like thieves guild established here. Make sure to all come to the first thieves guild meeting, and then just
They all
lock
jump
up
them
everyone
as
who
they come
turns
through
up.
the door.
Yeah.
This thief walks through the door and there's just
You
a load
brave-
of guys tied up going, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
you braveheart them. You get all the local thieves to go to a barn, and then you block the doors and burn it down.
Just every time a new thief comes in, there's one extra guy tied up, gagged. Boom.
They're the only ones who
Excuse
read the
me,
message and
master.
are like,
We cleared the road of
Excuse
thieves.
well, we just rounded up all the known thieves and executed them. What about the unknown
we stuck-
thieves?
then
That's
we
the only
stuck
ones we
those
haven't caught
thieves.
yet.
But we stuck those thieves on a boat and then sold them as slaves.
Yes, we put them into a more productive employment. Okay. So far there's only. Are you gonna let those other ones go as well, aside from your sea elf?
Oh yeah, the only one I'm keeping is the elf.
Okay, so
So I just felt bad for the poor ugly women.
yeah, because they were like not getting very good prices.
Well, that and there's no point saving a village if you don't save the women.
Well, yeah. You know, you kind of need to have kids and stuff.
You kind of need the women.
Okay, so the only the only people left aside from the party now and the Bastion staff are your tattooed friend, who no one's spoken to yet.
I've made it clear I'm keeping my fucking distance.
And I don't think anyone's really come up and looked at him aside from his head.
Well, Curran's noticed the thing on his head, and she vaguely knows what they are and has noticed they were hastily put on, so has come to the conclusion there's only a few reasons they would have been hastily put on. Either A, didn't know what it was they were putting on him, or B, they were very, very quick. They'd knocked him out and very quickly put it on before he got up. And there's a reason.
Either way, those wouldn't work then, because you can't put on a sealing rune without knowing what it is, because it won't work. And if you do it hastily, it's likely to break and won't work. So logically, it's either a fake out or it was done purposefully.
Well, like I said, I don't think anyone's actually spoken to him. So
I did last session. I didn't get anything out of him.
oh yeah,
He told me it
was
was just
slave at the time.
ramblings and he was out of it.
They replaced my Watsons with Cheetos.
Are they not the same thing almost?
Yeah.
No.
These ones are.
Well, it depends on the flavour.
Yeah.
Unless they're
just cheese
crunchy ones,
flavour.
then they're completely different.
Yeah.
No, but as a standard rule, a What's-It and a Cheezo are both cheese flavour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still a cheese puff by any other name.
Yeah, just
Yep.
cheese puff.
And cheesy poof. Well, like I said, where are you going to put them?
We don't really have a room for them at the moment.
Because at the moment they're just kind of like stood outside, well, sat outside, kind of like the rest of you.
Guess we're gonna have to just keep them all either with the orc or just let them wander
Well, now
around.
it's been another week. You might actually try talking to him now, seeing that he might have, gained some semblance of sense since.
Yeah, I probably would have tried talking to him again on the boat.
Yeah, he wasn't very happy then. Not very communicative. And I don't think anyone speaks his language.
I'll fix that. When I go to speak to him, I'll cast Comprehend Languages through my staff.
Would it tell you what language he was speaking? Well, would you be able to tell what language he was speaking?
Nope, I don't believe so.
Or does it just convert it into...
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
means that you can comprehend what he's saying.
Yeah, it mean any. I just understand the literal meaning of any language that you hear or see. It doesn't tell me what it is.
He's complaining about the food. A lot. Like, a hell of a lot. For someone who's probably been starving, but then has been on 2 sea voyages, and yeah, he is complaining. To the point where it's suspicious.
And what is your problem with the food?
It's disgusting. It's foul. It is some of the worst food I've ever experienced in my existence. What
And what would you
foul,
prefer?
disgusting thing.
Is he a chef? He sounds
And
like a chef. How he moans about food.
And what would you prefer?
I would prefer pretty much anything. You don't realize how much of a migraine this food is giving me. My brother does not like it. And when he doesn't
Brother?
like things, I get it in the head.
So well, maybe we'll try to accommodate you with better food. What is the deal with the symbols, and why was the other gentleman trying to bid so much for you? That's what I can't figure out.
Have you got any decent food on you? Like anything that's not like salt beef or freaking trail rations. Anything.
And not currently. We are having.
Yeah, I'm trying, brother. I'm trying.
Not
He
currently,
sort of
but
looks
we will
down at his
furnish you
stomach,
with better.
like.
Not currently, but we will be once shoring up the bastion and hopefully getting some better supplies.
You're. I can't believe I'm going to ask this. Have your goblins finished with their tiger? Have they got anything of it left?
Yes,
Sure, we
I'm
can
sure
get you a
they-
chunk of that.
Yes, I'm sure we can furnish you with some tiger meat. That shouldn't be a problem.
No. I need to calm my brother down. There's only one thing that'll work. Could you? I can't believe I'm going to say this. I need something from out of his head.
Oh God.
Good, he's a mind flayer. Great.
Not for me.
Can I ask?
It's from my brother.
Can I ask one of the goblins to fetch me its head?
I think they're using its head.
What do you mean you want his head? You're talking
I'm
about
sure you'll get the skull. You'll get the skull and the fur back.
You want his brain, don't you? Okay.
I think that's what it's requesting. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you can have it. Might be squishy. Has been a week.
I'm just gonna give
Not
it.
Great.
Yeah, just hand it to him.
What do you expect me to do with it? I'm not going to eat it raw. And I'm also chained up here. What kind of people are you?
It's the man who wants to eat bread.
Yeah, you could cook it. Use a little bit of seasoning, something. I don't know, anything, even a bit of salt, something. Not here. Here's some weak old tiger brains. Chow on that. Nothing? No? Fine.
Would one of you
This
cook
should
the
calm
brain for him?
down.
I feel like you need an expert to cook brains.
I don't know.
Just
Could you
need-
prepare it yourself? Do you have any cooking skills? What skills
Yes,
do you
I could
possess?
prepare it. I could prepare it myself. I've got used to cooking what he wants. I need a hot fire and a pan with a little oil. Cook it nice and sear it.
I'm sure
If
we'll.
you got some
Okay.
onions,
We will furnish you.
anything.
I will release you and have you, the goblins, furnish you with what you need to cook the brain. I just want the explanation of why I spent so much gold on it. What makes you worth it? What skills do you have?
It's probably to do with my brother.
And who is your brother?
My brother, Belial. You know, he's here. Down here. Like, he points at his stomach. He's down
Bilal,
here.
the god of murder.
Yeah, he's
that's
down
Baal.
here. When we were kids, I ate some weird slugs. We were starving. Next thing I knew, I could hear a voice coming from my stomach. When I spoke to my mum about it, she said, "It's your twin." When you were when I was pregnant with you, they thought I was gonna have twins. But then there was only one baby.
He's the villain from *Malignant*.
I've never actually seen that. I've never actually heard of that. Well, I've heard the name.
There's a clip I saw out of context that's going through my head that includes the phrase "start the reactor." Is that the movie you're talking about?
No, that is not the movie.
That's Total Recall.
Yeah, that's Total Recall.
Ah, right, yeah.
Although
That's
good
Arnold
comparison.
Schwarzenegger on par.
But can you use any magic, any skills? Or is he just after your brother?
Well, my brother's telepathic.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, I've got to try this now. I'm going to message. Hello, you all right in there?
Well, you can't understand any of this conversation.
I'm messaging. I'm going to use message. I can understand it if I use message.
No, but you can't understand the conversation we're having.
It depends what language you're speaking, because I speak some languages you don't.
Yeah, what language? Well, we don't know what language he's speaking. I know it's not. I can tell you it's not Draconic or Elvish because I understand those.
He keeps switching. Because sometimes he's talking to you, sometimes he's talking common, sometimes he's talking something else.
Is it giant?
But it's not a language you understand.
Oh god, it's an abyssal.
Like sometimes
Probably something like deep speech or demon. And you don't mean, and you and your brother wouldn't harm us, would you, if we kept you here safe?
No, Belial can't do anything. He's stuck.
And again, I'm still unsure what you can do.
Well, as I said, they're not interested in me. I just carry him around.
And why are they interested in him? It can't just because he's telepathic.
No, it's because he's got something in his head. Yeah, he's.
I'll release his shackles.
Oh god.
When you release his shackles, he opens his shirt at the base. Well, he lifts his shirt, his rags up, and you can see there's this weird. There's like a growth. No, it's not as much as Quato, whereas Quato was like a head and little limbs and things. This is more like a tumorous lump. There isn't really a definitive face at all or eyes. There's the shape of what would have been eye sockets if it had grown for longer. but it is just like it looks more like a squash skull with little indents going in and a little bulging part where its nose would be. It's most of a head, but as I said, it's squashed and deformed um, and seems to be more around his stomach area.
But as far as he's concerned, he has no usable skills.
No, as far as he knows, no. People are always more interested in his brother.
Oh no, I was more like can he cook like any basic kind
Yeah,
of
he could
skill
cook.
he might have.
He was telling the truth. He's a fairly decent cook. He's had to be because of
Oh,
Belial.
good. So if we were to keep you here at the Bastion as our chef, you'd be able to keep that goal, and we'd be able to keep an eye on you and your brother and make sure the wrong people don't get a hold of him.
Yeah. Belial, as long as he's fed,
Unless you
either the things he likes or something fancy, he's fine. But he does get
Oh,
very
great, now
angry
we've got
from
our own
at times.
So now we've got our own fucking Quato chef. Okay, I'll take that.
No, we've got our own Quato Gale.
No. I don't think
Feeding
Gale
magic
actually
items.
had a. I don't think Gale had a mind flare, did he?
Keep giving him. No, we have to keep. No, but we have to
Yeah,
keep giving him.
they all did.
So he blow up and cause.
Yeah, everyone in the game has one.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
part of the storyline. You all have a parasite.
Everyone except for about 3 or 4 MP characters you get to join your party that don't have them.
Yeah, I
Basket.
thought Gale didn't because you find him in that portal.
No,
Gale does.
No, all of them. All of them except for about 2 or 3 people you meet in Act 2 and 3 have parasites.
Yeah.
Oh,
Housen,
that explains why I wouldn't know. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, Housen and Jaheira don't have one.
Honestly, I'm surprised that you didn't open your stomach and just go boogaloo, motherfucker.
All the characters you get in Act 1 all have parasites.
Should have just left him in that.
So we're going to keep him as. We're going to keep him as a chef then. So I'm right. So the deal, everyone, is this guy has a brother inside of him who's psychic, but he is a fairly decent chef. I recommend we keep him as a chef and keep an eye on him and his brother for now.
Okay, is anyone going to react? The thing is, they'd have heard some of the language. Is anyone going to, like, maybe a check to see if they recognize it?
Okay.
Yeah, what check would you like on this, actually, as we're talking?
Yeah. What would it be for identifying a language?
Would it be insight, maybe? Yeah.
Identifying a language would be intelligence.
Yeah, it'd be an intelligence check.
Okay. I got a 16.
Oh, yeah, you could tell what it is.
18. And I only speak common and
Damn,
common sign
Elsa.
language, so how this works is beyond.
Damn.
Oh,
I'm getting flashbacks to when we had
or Greek.
Yeah,
in this
I was
case.
just going to
It's
say.
what I was going to make.
Or Greek.
Yeah,
in this
I was
case.
just going to
It's
say.
what I was
if
going to
anything,
make
it
the.
would
I was
get
going
you
to
a
premise. It's what I was going to premise. Would
It would
the? I
get
was
you
going
a
to
minus.
premise. It's what I was going to premise. Would history count? Would history count? Because technically, if I'd heard this before,
Or Greek.
Yeah,
in this
I was
case.
just going to
it's
say.
what I
if
was going to
anything,
make
it would
the.
get
I was
you
going
a
to
minus.
premise.
Yeah, I was just going to
It's
say.
what I
if
was going to
anything,
make
it would
the.
get
I was
you
going
a
to
minus.
premise. It's what I was going to premise. Would history count? Because technically.
Oh, for fuck's sake. that going to be what it does tonight? The internet's dropping out now.
Oh,
Making sure nothing's downloading. Making sure nothing's downloading. Working night a week. Suddenly everyone decides, no, I've got to download something. Yeah, because it just completely kicks me off and just completely disconnects the stream. Okay, it seems to be stable now. That is someone else downloading something because it's now disconnected once a minute. Yay! That's going to ruin everything. Okay, that seems to have settled down now. How's the chat?
Sorry, I just seen the thing in the chat. That was sadly what I was thinking when he mentioned the Quado.
Yeah. That's your cook sorted out. Yeah, as long as I keep him, sort of well fed and things, he's harmless enough. But I know others want to do experiments on him. Can't say I
Personally, I
understand
have noticed
why.
once. I just was rather that unscrupulous
No,
gentleman didn't pick you up
actually-
himself.
Oh no, something I remember. I also remember the movie that I've seen. The thing with the guy who's got like the conjoined twin that's in his belly. I think it was Basket Case.
Yeah, he was a conjoined twin, and then he was separated, and then Belial, his brother, goes on a
Oh, God.
murder thing. They go around and basically kill the ones who separated them.
Yeah. Yeah, because I knew there was some. I recognize it somewhere because I remember I picked up the 3-movie box set at one point. Don't they like move into like a house full of other freaks at one point?
Probably, I think so. Probably in the second or third
Yeah.
one.
I think it's the third one because I think they were planning to do a completely different universe thing and then thought, fuck it, let's all mix it all together.
Whereas this one was a conjoined twin,
Excellent.
and one of the this one's a conjoined twin whose conjoined twin got infected by a mind flayer when he ate a
Dear.
mind flayer when he ate the little larval form.
Ah, yes, the little tadpole.
Because of where the little tadpole was in his stomach, it found its way into the conjoined twin's brain, which, as it is a subservient secondary brain, it couldn't take over the body and it couldn't grow.
Okay, so
It is a mind flayer, but it's like a kind of one that's never formed properly, which would prove very useful information for someone who wanted to vivisect a mind flayer or perform
As
experiments
I'm
on them.
telling him, we have no interest in experimenting on things we don't know. We are more just trying to. I'm more interested in keeping him out of the hands of the person that was bidding on him. Because I did not like that guy. Give me a weird vibe.
To be fair, who didn't give you a weird vibe at that place?
Okay, so the only
Okay,
person who
then.
needs quarters now is the sea elf. She's not well. She is curious why you rescued. Well, why you paid for her.
Sorry, just getting my pills.
I'll be right back.
See, I don't think that's a conversation I have outside here, is it?
No, no. Especially not with the traveling merchant and like the bandits nearby.
Yeah, no.
So what are you going to do with me? Are we going to go inside, or are we going to stay out here, or?
I guess we should take her inside.
Okay, well, after you, it's your hovel.
I'm back. Sorry, what did I miss?
So the sea elf's wandering after Lena.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I assume El Toro, are you going to go inside with your associate?
Yeah, we're gonna try and turn the place into a gym.
Yeah.
Not gonna do much for the aesthetic. El Toro's used to the whole dungeon look.
Anyone else? What are you going to do?
I don't think there's much purring can do at the moment other than find a room for herself, if there is any.
Yeah, there's plenty of rooms.
Okay, then I'm gonna. Again, I can only see what's on the YouTube screen, so
I'll put you in a room.
okay,
The one
because I'm
next to El Toro.
want to at least try and clean it up a little.
Yeah, get all the sludge off the floor.
Well, sludge roll. I mean, if I had the skill, I'd be trying to dehydrate the slime and turn it so I could make slime thread, but I don't possess that skill.
So why did you bid on me? Says the sea elf.
Honestly, because I think you might have.
Why did you bid on me? says the sea
Honestly,
elf.
because I think you might have information.
About what?
What would you say if I told you powered water deity was usurped?
It would explain a great many things that have been slightly out of place for a while. Seasons don't flow together as well as they should. Weather patterns have been disrupted. They settle down, but things are slightly out of whack.
I just realised I could be speaking Elvish. We'd be much better about conversation. It's a much better and safer conversation in Elvish.
You realise you're now speaking in her native tongue and just says basically the same thing. Like, yeah, things are not working properly.
See, that's why I bought you.
Yeah.
Because you, unlike most of this group, are more directly connected.
What, to the
Because our
water?
usual water adjacent person ain't quite right recently.
Would that explain why it's an island that's moved?
Which island would that be?
The volcanic island that many people believe is like the forge of the gods, but it's moved. Normally, you see it far off. Sailors reckon they've seen it, but when they've tried traveling back to the location, it's usually gone. But we sea elves normally know precisely where it is, but it's vanished.
See,
Can't seem to find it at all.
And that's exactly what I want you to do for me. I want you to keep your ear to the ground, find out any weird water-related hullabaloo, so we can fix this shit.
Well, I suppose we could. Well, I suppose I could. I'd need to get in contact with my kin. If you have any forms of pigeons or small animals that I could use.
Do you know, I know just the person.
To send a message. One thing as well that has increased the amount of piracy. Supply boats have been robbed. Well, no, so they've been disappearing whole with no survivors. But it usually seems to be vessels with cargo. But not valuable cargo. Iron, weapons crafting materials seem to be vanishing.
Sounds like someone's stockpiling.
So that's all I know so far. Okay. El Toro.
Yeah.
You've successfully cleaned up the gunge in your room.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a while to build anything because, well, the carpenters will come back and build you whatever that you need for your room. Purin. You can see that Lena is across from you talking in Elvish to your sea elf.
Yeah, I can't
to the
speak
sea elf.
Elvish, so... True, I can't understand them because I don't speak Elvish. So I'm still cleaning up, although guessing she's getting information.
Yeah.
Though I can't really do much else other than try and clean up what's in here. Probably singing to herself.
Well, after a few hours of the they'll just come back with supplies of wood. And the hunting parties come back with fresh meat and some vegetables and things that is being cooked up. So everyone's all happy with something fresh to eat rather than your supplies.
Ration.
Yeah, your remaining rations. That's when your friend, the travelling merchant, returns. Hello? Anyone in? As he walks between the rooms.
Ah, our merchant friend, how goes it?
Well, not good if I'm honest. Another wave of robberies. Supply ships not turning up.
Can't imagine that's doing you any favour as a trader.
Pardon me, I can see that you're whipping this place into order.
Well, trying. We only just recently got back. We're just tried to get some of the villagers back. Unfortunately, we weren't exactly able to save everybody. Going to be all regretful on that little bit. So I'm just trying to make this room a little livable. I assume everybody else is too.
Well, so you're not doing much in the way of not doing much in the way of investigating, then?
As I say, we've only just got back and, well, I had to make sure we were running low on supplies, so we're trying to regroup before we do any. I think we're trying to regroup before we go and do anything.
Because I know there's a gentleman outside who really wants to speak to you. About a missing sword.
I guess my room's as good as it's going to get at this point until I can get a seamstress or someone to make me a futon. I guess I'll go out and say hello.
A what?
A futon. It's like a little. It's what we sleep on in my hometown.
Oh,
Try to describe
okay.
what a futon.
It's like a bedroll.
Yeah, it's like a bedroll.
As he walks past El Toro's room, heard about your loss in the arena. You got good odds on a rematch.
Yes. Oh, El Toro's not going to lose the same fight twice, brother.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
And if it weren't for those tigers, I'd have had him. You mark my words, if he 1v1s me next time, things are going down differently.
Yeah, Tiger's always going to be a problem. Well, where's your leader? I said, I'm sure you're going to want to hear this gentleman's proposition.
I'll just.
He's really desperate to get his sword back. Probably play you handsomely.
And then walk out of the room to join everybody.
Anyone else going to come out and join them?
Oh, can I just insight this old guy a minute?
Yeah.
Because I have this weird suspicion that it's actually a small mouthy goblin. Because it's just, how did you hear about the arena thing? We've only just got back.
Could have heard from one of the people who came with you.
They've only just left to go to the village.
Yeah, I did say it's been a couple of hours. Have you tied?
I know, it's just the sheer suspicion I've got now that anyone who shows way too much information is like,
oh yeah.
Look at that small fucking goblin, are you again? Probably isn't, but what do we get? 23.
No, nothing weird.
So what you're saying is that your radar sense went off.
It's just literally, it's like reassess.
Gabba sense.
Gabba said.
It's just literally like anyone who pushes that button on her is just gonna. Is literally just going like, I'm looking. I'm just fucking looking.
As he walks back towards the door, a grey-haired man walks
got
round the
wrecked.
corner.
I got rare power in
Have
my.
they agreed to find my sword?
We haven't heard the details yet.
Don't know what's good to see that guy.
I need to find my sword. And these are the only people who can find it.
To know too much about. He seems to know. He seems to know where we are, and also seems to know that we're not just homeless people shacking off.
What's good? We've ran into this guy twice.
Yeah, and twice it's possible he's been fucking Aries.
Are you going to
Got
say that out
insight.
loud?
No, I'm not even in this conversation. I'm way out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I am so far
Yeah,
away. I
it's-
can't hear what's going on, and no one's come to fetch me yet. So
Okay.
That's why I just said, don't tell her he's here.
I only got a 12, though.
As far as
She'll
you
lose
well,
her
he's telling the
shit.
truth. He is very eager to get his sword back.
Oh yes, he's very eager to get his sword back. What is the sword?
Oh yeah, I said I'd
Why
move
do you
out of
want-
the room,
Why do you
didn't
want
I?
it back? Well, obviously, not want it back. But what is it about the sword in particular?
He turns to the traveling salesman. We can handle this. We're old friends. Yeah, you go and get yourself something to eat. Kitchens are just in here. We need to discuss this. Discuss the details.
Wait, is he telling this? Oh, is the salesman telling him, or is he telling
No,
the salesman?
he's telling the salesman like, "Don't worry, yeah, we just need to have a chat.
We have a-
You know, we'll
How does he know?
yeah, just go
how
get
does he know
something
that
to
the
eat."
kitchens are even open?
Because he
How do you
literally
know the
just
kitchens
walked
are
past
done?
them.
Ah, right there.
Yeah, just because I actually really want to see this, I'm just gonna push my finger just over my shoulder. Peacock, you really want to see this?
He
See
walks
what?
into Purin's room.
Yeah.
what would you like me to come look at, Lena?
The
He's
great
starting to
god
sweat.
of war would like you to find his sword.
He's starting to sweat
That's gonna
quite a
that'll
lot.
get up.
Like
Excuse me.
he is starting to sweat something crazy hard at this point.
I just like imagining you
And he's
running down this
gritting,
corridor.
and he is gritting his teeth like. As soon as he gets into Purin's room and out of sight of the merchant, his form does shift, but in a much more
Ah,
unpleasant way than usual. Usually it'd be the sort of flash of light and all the showmanship and things, but this time it's a lot less flashy and a lot more. He seems very upset and pained.
Okay, so this is Aries.
I thought you would take forever to get over here. would believe how
Oh,
much energy that takes.
So what?
Oh,
Like, so, for us to find your sword, might I inquire as to why you no longer have your sword?
Because someone took it.
And who exactly
I
took your
assume
sword?
Ray have brought you on board in this endeavor because of your intellect, your ability to do things and find things,
as
of
I
your
round the corner,
witty repartee.
as I round the corner,
That's a good way of asking for something.
Took it? Your Aries and they just took it?
Yes,
Oh,
it does strike me.
not only have they taken it, but they've cut him off from divinity. This battery's losing his charge, and he's not happy about it.
Yeah. So, do you know who took your sword in particular, or did they sneak it away from you somehow? Oh God, it wasn't Belmont, was it?
No. I was travelling back when my boat was attacked. I don't know what it was. Something smashed into the boat in the middle of the night. When I woke up, I found myself on a raft. And my sword was gone.
Mm.
I used every bit of energy I had, aside from a little bit to maintain this disguise, to get here. The last thing I want is people knowing I'm vulnerable.
and yet you came to me calling on my assistance.
I believe it came to us.
Us, we're a team. Us.
Us. Yes.
I came here because I know about your mission. I know what my uncle is like. I think I can tell when someone's pretending to be him.
Ah. Yes, I kind of figured that the rest of the some of the Pantheon would figure it out very quickly, but be very discreet about it. Ah. Right.
So we got another protector,
I
do
have
we?
secret arrangements with Poseidon to give certain war fleets a little bit of a push so that they get to their destinations on time. Suddenly, all of our secret plans and arrangements have just been forgotten. And I try to speak to my uncle about it, and he doesn't want to know. He doesn't have time. He's far too busy. And when I check to see what he's busy doing, he's hanging around with Hephaestus.
Hephaestus.
And he's
Okay,
doing
Jumanji,
things
do
for
any of us know how that
Belmont.
Right, there's a non-0% chance that they're going to melt down your sword.
No.
It's not. I think it's worse than that. If the sword is linked to his divinity,
They're going to make loads of divine weaponry.
yeah, but it's
Hephaestus
entirely
could do
possible.
that anyway.
Yeah, Festus kind of does that. The worry is that he might be giving. It might be that he might give Ares
He
his
could give
sword
my
to
sword
someone.
to Belmont.
Yeah,
that
that
would
is
be
Then all he'd need to
that would be
do,
terrible.
all he'd need to do is get some ambrosia from somewhere, make Belmont a god, and we have a whole new god of war.
Plus, if you're gonna start a war with the gods, guess who you take off the board first?
the original God of War.
The guy who'd know you're starting a war.
Oh, I'm quite interested in retrieving Ares' sword from Belmont.
Oh, well, obviously,
But
They won't have
I
given
don't feel.
Belmont my sword yet. Hephaestus will be keeping hold of it.
oh, of course.
Wherever
But
he
what?
is,
But
he's
why would I
just
return the sword to
vanished.
you?
Wait a minute. Okay, Jumanji. We just got some. Trigger just got some information from a sea elf about an island that moved.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
No, I'm just saying he knows that.
I know that.
He knows that.
He did Jumanji it.
I'm Jumanjiing it. I'm just saying that might be where Hephaestus is.
But it is infinitely difficult to find something that's moving.
Oh,
Right.
but tell me, Ares, why would I return your sword to you and not take it for myself? I kind of enjoy seeing you like this.
Perrin's going to give a glare.
Because even in this form, I could still crush you like a bug.
At the moment, you are correct.
I'd make sure to
But that
do
won't
it
always be the case,
before
Ares.
anything else. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you. The experience of my foot coming down on you.
The longer we leave this, the more time we give our enemy to create more problems for us.
Again, I have no intention of letting our enemies get away with this.
Then please put your metaphorical wang away.
Perrin, as I speak plainly, you do not know this land or its gods
Jumanji.
or our relationships with the gods.
That's number Wang.
That's number one.
That may be, but from what I do understand, I may not know the gods in this land, but I do know that one of our enemies getting the power of a god is something we really do not want.
I only got
Us,
two
Ares and
questions.
I have a
Whose
bit of
ass
a
am I
person-
kicking and where are they?
Ares and I have a bit of a personal
Yeah.
problem.
Yes, but your personal problem should not be getting in the way of our job. We've already had enough of a setback, almost losing Ryoshi and having to go to that place. We should be concerned about finding where Hephaestus is, or even trying to stop him from getting ambrosia or whatever. The question is where Hephaestus would be, since if he's working with our enemy, creates problems, and we don't exactly have a crew for a ship right now.
This crossing the water stuff is dangerous.
It's becoming a consistent thing for us.
Well, yeah. It's the most dangerous place you can be. It's ruled by a psychopath.
Indeed.
So obviously, Ares, you didn't come here
Psychopathic-
without an offer to make.
Psychopathic child.
That
Like
exactly.
a child with a Napoleon complex.
Yes. I assume you have something better than just collect your sword, or you wouldn't have come to me for this.
You think I'm going to let other people know that I don't have my sword?
Yeah, at best he's going to trust us more, since if he's really connected to Rhea.
You have to be discreet.
Indeed. There's few people you can trust, and
We're great at that.
we can't fall into that category. The question is, how do we go about finding Hephaestus?
Well, God of War, I assume you have something to offer in the way of information.
You know anything about his forge?
Which one? I heard he's got like 4.
He has one which is probably the one he's at. It moves. You can travel around on it. Or travel around inside it. No one's seen
one
it
in the
for
volcano?
centuries. I suspect these are the people who are also seizing weapons. You take me off the board, and then you start a large war.
That's what I just said.
Well, who do you know who's been gathering weapons?
Lord Belmont.
Should I have bomb rushed him in the arena?
No, you'd be dead by now.
Yeah.
Ah,
The Golden Dawn does present a problem for all of us.
that's a hell of a gauntlet to run.
But I'll be frank, I trust you about as far as I can throw you.
At this moment, there's very little I can do about that. You can either trust me or you can trust your little camp friend who's pretending to be Poseidon.
When this guy tricked El Toro, he was doing it for fun. El Toro does not think he would come here if he wasn't sincere, especially with something so embarrassing as losing his sword.
So what are we gonna do? We're just gonna go find one of their camps and ask them to take us to their leader.
I
Hmm.
could use what money I have left to sell you some, to buy you some weapons. They get delivered here, and then you sail them across to a known conflict zone, somewhere the Golden Dawn isn't going. There's a good chance you'd then be attacked by the ones who are stealing the weapons.
It does sound like a good strategy.
We
Of
have
course,
very
it's one thing I do well.
Then we get him in a camel clutch and make him squeal.
certainly an idea. Whatever account.
But, and what assurance do you have once we've returned your blade to us? Returned your blade to you?
What are you after? Some sort of promise? Perhaps a simple word
Well,
that I
I'm not
won't
sure.
just tell your mother that you exist. I'm
You know,
sure she
either
would
she
love
knows
to
or
know
you-
about you and your little band.
So she doesn't know I exist.
How would a mother not know their child exists? I mean, the father I can understand, but
Then were you responsible
You
for
feel
the
like I
bandits?
noticed that.
yeah.
It was just a
Were you
really bad
responsible?
sneeze.
Were you responsible for the bandits that attacked the temple?
Really think I'm going to tell you while I'm
No,
like
I just thought
this?
it was worth.
I feel like that's a yes.
Yeah.
I have enough problems to deal with without you suddenly deciding you want some matriarchal revenge.
Oh, you know I'm coming anyway.
To be fair, I'm on board with this. I love the idea that Ares would owe us a favor.
Yes, yes. Give me your word that you will not just immediately remove us from the board and let us continue our work.
Well, yes, I
Somehow
want
I
these
I
feel
people
like
dealt with.
somehow I
I-
feel like our mission kind of benefits him in the long run anyway.
It does. Returning his sword for them and not displacing the balance of power at the moment is is a useful metric. But one day, Ares, I will have an army big enough to challenge you.
You are aware that's just what he wants, right?
Yeah, we both want it. That's the point.
Whatever.
Unless if you
Maybe
don't
on
find
this trip I
yourself
can find-
working for me.
So are we going to find asses to kick?
You think? What do you mean, like right now?
Well, it's going to take a week for
Burns
the
is gonna-
supplies to get here.
Perrin's gonna roll her eyes and just like the room at this point.
And how long will it take to sail to the nearest conflict?
Well, as I said, it depends on how quickly the enemy become aware of you and your bait. You might as well ask how long it takes to bait a fish.
My main concern is how long you're going to last without your sword. I'm assuming
Well, it
I'm
depends.
assuming you'll be staying. Where would you be stay? Where would you be staying, Lord Ares? Obviously you don't want to be seen in public or out where your enemies can get you. So
I'll just stay here.
I'm sure he has a few hiding spaces.
I was going to suggest that you could stay here, but well, we kind of both knew you would. I'd rather keep the status quo if it's all the same with you. So we have a week to prepare.
No,
Till
I
then,
doubt you would want to stay here.
We do know a nice little inn down the road.
it's too public. You could be weak.
Yeah, he might be better off staying here. I suppose we can ask the carpenters to make you some furniture, make you a bed.
Or there's another alternative. You could give me some of your power. A brief recharge.
You need some of the divine power.
Yes.
You'll owe me.
Better to have a debt from a god than anything else.
I'm going to hold my hand out to him. You'll owe me.
Plus, your Greek power will probably resonate with him better than my Japanese power.
Also, I'm half. Remember, I'm an Asima. I am actually part deity.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably the only one that can be drained.
Yeah, it will drain all your spell slots for today.
Because we are technically not divine beings. He is.
Would he like my celestial revelation for the day? As that is
Oh no,
actually
he's
divine power.
he's literally just gonna use all of your spell slots.
Dick.
Because he's drawing raw energy off of you.
I'm hoping, Ares, that
You'll get it back after a long rest, same as usual.
Oh no. I'm hoping.
But you're gonna feel like crap
to.
until you do.
Yeah. I'm hoping the Lord of War remembers to pay good on his debts.
He just gives you this look like.
As he's draining power from me, can I do an insight check on him?
Yeah.
As we're kind of spiritually connected, because I am still trying to work out whether he's my father. I have a direct contact with him at the moment and his power.
So
Might be
you're
the
gonna.
only chance I get to try and work.
So you're gonna somehow turn it into a cosmic paternity test.
Yeah.
Where's the Greek
Jerry,
doctor?
Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
Oh.
Well,
can
because
carry
it's
him
it stands as I'm a divine being. Half of my power, we already know where that comes from, but my power might resonate with him in a way that it wouldn't with another god.
Yeah.
Is it wrong that I want to burn my pack slot just to do a joke?
Is Ares the father?
Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to disguise self as Jerry Springer.
Except Jerry
We don't
Springer's
know
not
I'm doing
in
this.
that. Yeah, you don't know who Jerry
can't
Springer
turn it-
is.
Yeah,
You can't turn into some.
I'm joking.
I mean, I'd accept it if you decided to become a balding man with a mustache and sit in a chair and just pull on a whole Dr. Phil thing.
The divine paternity test has come back, and I can tell you that Ares is not the father.
I can't remember what the one from Jeremy Kyle was. Something about wrapping that willy.
Don't be silly.
Don't get silly.
So am I able to determine that?
Maybe a high roll. Yeah, give it a go.
Insight check. Okay, let's go. Ooh, 24.
Okay. Well, I guess it really depends. Did you want him to be your character's baby daddy?
Oh well, I always had the suspicion because it was always they disappeared into the cave and he's super pissed off with the Festus for catching them and doing the whole thing. So and they do already have 4 children together. So I kind of think it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a dirty incest baby.
I mean, we could coin flip it.
Technically, no, because Aphrodite isn't actually related by blood.
No,
Well, no, not in that sense.
She's like the only one out of all of them that isn't directly related to them.
I think she's technically more like their aunt. No, because she is Cronus's daughter.
Yeah, but Cronus is everyone's father, which means they're all incest babies.
Well, no, it's Uranus. Gaia ripped
Yeah,
off Uranus' testicle and threw it into the sea.
Yeah.
She's actually from a different Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's from a completely different type, so she's more like their auntie than their actual, like, direct sibling.
Plus, Hephaestus has a huge beef with Ares for him being cucked by Ares.
Hephaestus has a beef with everybody who slept with Aphrodite.
Yep.
I mean, that is his wife.
Yeah, that's his wife, and she
You kind of would be upset about that.
Well,
but it's annoying when most of them are gods, and they outrank you.
I'm just going to look at him. Well, Father of War, we have a truce. I'm just going to give him a smile.
Dad of war.
He looks at you confused, like,
I'm just gonna get the lyre out. Do 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 do.
Oh, it's Greece. Everyone was doing it.
Doesn't make it right.
I agree.
They
but
didn't
it's
know.
Greece,
They
any
didn't
better.
know at the time that it was wrong.
That doesn't make it all right either.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's all right then.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
Prince Bliss, apparently. Don't worry, uncle slash brother.
Ah, you slept with your
Would it-
cousin.
would it-
She was
or-
my second
or would
cousin.
it- Or would it be
That's
Well,
all
cousin?
right
that's
then.
all right then.
Or would it be husband?
Oh, Uncle Dad.
And mom and uncle.
Yes, with the power we've exchanged, we have a truce, and we will ready the supplies, and we will sail to retrieve your sword.
Okay. He's a little sort of put out by the fact that you did something during the transfer of energy.
See, this is how we end up with children.
He doesn't. Wait, so he doesn't know what I did?
This is how you end up with children with
He
big
knows-
ears and buck teeth. And I look at
He
Purim and
knows you
go,
did.
no offense.
He knows you did something.
Well, that's even that's even weirder because that means he doesn't know I'm his kid either.
He's got loads of kids. He doesn't keep track of all of them.
And those he does know, he sends to war.
Especially the
That
ones
and-
he thinks are disappointments.
That and you just called him Dad of War.
Oh,
That's-
Well, father of war.
Father
You
of
know,
War.
I'd say that's probably ambiguous enough that, like,
yeah.
he
I'm pretty
might
sure
get
like,
it, but
Okay. Sometimes I feel like you're doing some text here. Could you just compliment? You've just given him what would be considered a compliment. You don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, he's going to be suspicious.
I think
Yeah,
she's
I know.
coming on to him.
Don't go there.
I mean, it's
Don't
not
go
that-
there. Don't go there.
no, she didn't say Daddy of War.
Oh, Daddy of
Yeah.
War.
Yeah, I
Look
was
how
going to
big
say,
your
don't.
weapon is.
Ooh, woo.
It's all right. Well, it's all right because, you know, they're keeping it in the
Well,
family.
she looks exactly.
When he-
She looks exactly like his wife.
Oh, that's all right then.
Hey, Hawk, you know what they say? When in Rome,
Well, close enough.
close enough.
Close enough to close enough that you might not be blamed if there was particularly bad disco lighting.
Do 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 do.
How would that we have a deal?
Great, now our bastion's going to become a swamp.
Don't worry. Yeah, it's heading into an r/RPG horror story again.
Yeah, well, let's clear the stuff out before we come to Louisiana.
I'm surprised I haven't got one so far. But actually, no, I have.
Well, I slept with my father, who is my uncle's, who's my mother's brother's sister cousin.
R/slash
Dear,
Greek.
dear Penthouse Forum.
So such Greek problems, am I right?
Mm.
There aren't so many family problems. It's one thing ancient Greece did very well. Family squabbles.
And this is why they always fell back to the want to sleep with your mother problem.
Well, no. Except, no, Zeus never did that.
This is very Oedipusdian.
He was just like, I just want to sleep with any fit mortals. The bestiality part of it was always a bit problematic. But okay, so you've agreed to his plan. So I assume that means basically that you'll have one bastion turn because it's going to be a week. if I remember correctly, how this
Well,
works.
technically, we haven't got any rooms yet, so that wouldn't do anything.
No, isn't that when you can assign to build the rooms?
No, you get the rooms automatically when you level up with the Bastion. Each random week gives you what the rooms generate, but as we don't actually have any rooms established at the moment, we wouldn't generate anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the point where you would establish the rooms.
That's why I'm trying to frantically locate the floor plan land I did for you, but I can't figure out where I saved it.
Well, I have the list of rooms up at the moment and the basic rooms.
Here we go. I was just finding the chapter.
Now it says everyone's supposed to get 2 rooms. No, 2 special facilities. That's but that does seem like a lot. I'm wondering, like, as I don't know, maybe we should pick a room each because you get one at 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th. You get an extra, yeah.
I'm gonna say initially you get a small room and a medium room, and you get 2 facility rooms, and then you get an extra 2 at 5th level, I believe.
No, you get your original 2 at 5th level.
Yeah, and then you get another one at
9th. You get another 2 at 9th. You get another one.
I'm sure you get one before that, don't you?
No, because you're not supposed to get a Bastion until 5th level.
All right.
Yeah, you get 2 special facilities at 5th.
Yeah.
Because apparently, yeah, because you have a combined Bastion, you only get the 2 special rooms.
Yeah, but that's per person.
Yeah, that's per person.
Combining 2 or more players can combine their Bastions into a single structure. Doing so doesn't change the number of special facilities each Bastion can have.
Yeah. Because each grouping of things is counted separately, so each person's things get attacked separately.
That's why my suggestion might be: should we just combine it all together into one Bastion and just everybody gets 1 room?
Well, that's not how it. You can combine it all into one Bastion, but we still all get 2 rooms. It doesn't change the number of rooms you get combining them. All it does is if one person takes a defending unit, it can cover everyone in the Bastion. I explained this to you like 4 months ago. That's why it's better to think of a Bastion as a plot of land. Considering, what was it, some of the rooms can get up to like 200 feet.
Mm.
And the problem is because they come later on, the bigger ones, you can't just stick them on top of a one building because it will
No,
make
you'd have to turn it into like a small town sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why you just visualize it as it's one bastion, but all of the buildings are separated, except unless you want them designed in a certain way. It's like designing a fort town.
Ah, this is yeah. This is why it says if you combine it, you only get the same. You only get the same number of special facilities.
Yeah. Because the funny thing is, it's like none of the special the facilities don't affect each other. For example, if I build a workshop, you can't use the workshop. Only I can benefit from the shit from that workshop.
Unless it's the crap, like something it makes.
Yeah, no, I can craft something and give it to you from there, but you can't go in there and make it.
Yeah, we kind of talked about. Yeah, you're right. We talked about this 4 months ago because we said something about because when we were
Yeah,
trying
no,
to explain,
you don't get access to the special benefit it gives. You can get access
yeah, you
to
don't get the
the
benefit from it, but if, like,
produce it makes.
like
Yeah.
we tried to explain this as if we
Mm.
made like potions or something, like made a thing that made like specific potions and stuff, you couldn't use that facility or get the bonuses from it, but we could like produce potions and give you some. But you can't benefit from it in any other way other than us directly giving you stuff.
It's why my idea for what I was going to do was literally just have it producing perfume, which means I can generate 50 gold every week by making perfume, selling perfume from my by having the garden and the warehouse, because I have the warehouse gather the perfume once it's made, and then I can sell it on. It basically just means I have a perfume store. And literally just gives me every time a week passes, I get 50 gold for free.
Okay, the list of ones you can get at your level: Arcane Study, Armory, Barracks, Garden, Library, Sanctuary, Smithy, Storehouse, Workshop.
So like I said to you Moradin, I was like, if you wanted to do like throw in 2 gardens, for example, we can then split 150 gold each week.
Yeah, I remember now. So I was tempted by the smithy, but then I thought that's probably not a good idea right now. But yeah, 2 gardens would be something good to start with.
Well, the thing is, it's like, because I gather your ingredients as well as my ingredients, and then I just sell them through my thing. As long as you're happy to give me the ingredients.
Oh yeah, we have a.
And then we just split the gold down the middle. And it's like, right, so every week, me and Mora basically get 75 gold to spend.
Yeah, I'm okay with doing that. I'd obviously need to assign people to do it, but yeah.
Well, that's why I was saying about the thing, because once you build each facility, mechanical terms, you have the person that's working that facility. It doesn't go into that deeper thing to make you go, and you can role play of going and get the guy, but it doesn't go into that depth of you needing to do it. It's literally no, you have the guy.
Yeah. I mean, you could literally just say, it's just a random NPC. But add details here and there, but it doesn't have to be deep. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay. If you want to do the whole thing and have a gentle bonds agreement,
Well, so I did have a literally I had a piece of a map floor of literally the spa slash perfume works that I built.
Yeah,
Fortunately, I
that
could
was
not
our,
bloody find it.
well, that, 'cause that was going to be our long-term plan, wasn't it? To do the whole bath, like, because both our cultures use different kinds of bathhouses, but they both have like some degree of medical benefits.
Yeah, to be fair, I think I could rebuild this quickly. And
Yeah, so but I think if I remember correctly,
Well,
the plan was to do the garden thing. And
there's
you
no
then
need
you
for
do
it
that
straight
house.
away because you'll be
Oh,
leaving and it's going to take a week to build it.
Obviously, but yeah, that's the. So yeah, I'm okay with having two gardens and doing that to make, because we need to remake the gold anyway. You know, get the gold back that we recently lost, and I didn't exactly have much to begin with.
So you've taken the garden and the storehouse.
I think Trigger's taking a garden and a storehouse, and I'm doing two gardens.
This
I
is what I
think-
was trying to say. Okay, this is where this bit of the thing is very poorly written.
is it the attack feature?
No, I'm not thinking of the attack feature. It's the okay, yeah, it makes more sense now. Okay. No, it's the way they word it with the if you combine a bastion, it doesn't increase the number of the number of special facilities a bastion can have.
No.
So it seemed to be from the implication of that, it seemed to be a bastion could only start with the basic room and the two special facilities. But clearly that doesn't work. If you're combining, I think what it's referring to is the restrictions on them.
Yeah, it means you can still only have
Like, for example,
one
you
of
can't
each
just
room.
you can't just spam one type of room for a stacked bonus.
Yeah, the only one that I know that you can do that with is the garden, because you can have up to
Because you can
6
have
of them, I think.
the garden. There is a bastion have one more that he specifically states a bastion can have more than one garden. Each time you add a garden, choose the type of garden.
Yeah,
So you have a decorative garden, which is the one that generates perfume. A food garden, which generates 100 days worth of rations.
yeah.
Herb
There's the
garden
mushrooms, I think, as well.
and a poison
Oh no,
garden.
mushrooms are in. Yeah,
They're the food garden. Yeah, they're the.
yeah,
So yeah, if you had a food garden and a decorative garden,
yeah.
um,
So as I
you
said to
would
her, so
get
if you take like if you take a flower garden, I take a flower garden, and you take a food garden as well,
Yeah,
it means we're
that.
self-sustainable on food.
Yeah, I kind of figured
And
that.
my storeroom will sell, so we get 50 gold each week, rotational.
The storeroom's the only one that makes any money.
Yes. Well, no, the storeroom does,
so
and
the garden does.
there's another
It
one that
well,
does
no,
as well. There's
no, the garden.
the
The garden
gambling den
produces
does
items
later on.
worth money.
Yeah, but then the storeroom can sell them to
Yeah.
general populace for, and then every time you level up, it goes up in rank, so you get a higher percentage. So it's like, I think at the highest level, it's you could be selling perfume at about 300-400% markup.
Okay.
But as I said, all of the gardens basically produce the same price stuff if you're selling it, because the rations and the perfume work out at the same price.
Yeah. Okay, so
But as I said, as we were going for a spa thing, the perfume seemed like a really good idea.
No, I was just trying to figure out how to generate myself money through this.
Well, the problem is because when I was explaining this to everyone, you were sort of fixated on having the war room and the tactical stuff and the
Well,
army stuff.
I said I like the idea. I actually like the idea you were going for, so I was going to help contribute to that.
okay, so it starts off as a cramped garden.
Yeah, so it's 18 tiles or 16 tiles. I can't remember.
4 tiles.
I said I had this all bloody mapped down.
No, it's actually only 4.
Well, no, because the standard room for garden is a set number.
Is it a roomy?
I said I don't. Let me have I'll get the sheet up because
I've got the sheet up. I'm just going backwards and forwards finding it.
Yeah, so as standard,
the
you
garden's
get a
roomy.
4-room. You get a
Roomy,
4-room room and a 16-room, and then
Yeah,
your special
that's the-
room comes in with a set
It starts
size,
as the
which I
mid
think the
tier.
garden's 6. Yeah, it's 16.
Yeah, it starts off as the mid tier room, which is because you've got the option to expand it to a vast room, which is the top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the bit I was just
So
reading
I think
myself.
all the special rooms come in at start.
They
at
probably
16
start at
usually.
mid tier. Yeah.
Yeah,
I said
because a
Because
lot of
that's
people,
only
what
that's
a lot of
only a
people
4
do-
by that's only a 4x4 room. That's not a big room.
Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of people do the thing of going, oh, you start with a 4x4 room and a 2x2 room, and they go, I'll use the 4x4 room as my bedroom and just have this tiny room. It's like, yeah, but a 2x2 room is big enough for you to have a bed in and a dresser and just be a bedroom. And then you'd have a big room as a lounge or something you could use. And a load of people fall for that same trap. It's like, because there's nothing you can do with a 2x2 room.
What other rooms would be helpful?
Bedroom. Which one?
What other rooms would be helpful to you?
I do not know because, as I said, I've lost my sheet. As I said, I had this planned out months ago, and I've lost my sheet.
As I said, it's
I
a group
literally started it out because there's as I said, I only needed one person to join because my storeroom can't do more than 100 anyway. Was it 100?
Well, I said it's if we can combine it all together and then all profit, it actually makes more sense to just group the entire bastion together.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem because if any of you then want to take, because it's all one bastion, but if you describe it as one big group building, it makes no sense to have military buildings next to a spa because nobody wants to go.
Well, no, I'll split it.
take a
I'll split
spa.
it up when instead of it being one building, I'll make it into like a small village. As I said, I'm just getting the basic
Well, that's
stuff
what I'm saying.
down.
We'll still be one bastion.
So there we go. 4x4. That's one.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if we can all find a way to make it work so we can all profit from it.
Yeah, but as I said, adding any more to this won't get us any more money at this point because the maximum is at what we're at already. There's a limited return of what's it called? It's like you can't just add more gardens and generate more because you can't sell it. There's a fixed number of amount you can sell.
Yeah, but this just means me and El Toro aren't going to get any money at all from the Bastion.
Well, I'm going to sound like a bit of a dick here, but I did come up with this plan ages ago.
Yeah.
If I want to make money out of a plan that I came up with,
I mean, I was hoping El Toro would start that gym and that would bring something in. It just seems like the kind of business he'd run. I mean, he's not quite big enough for Pasta Mania yet.
well, I said the problem is you like later on you could have an arena, for example, and collect monsters and mounts that you find and sell them.
Hmm.
But it's later on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
literally
this
went
is the
straight for the
survival.
what can I have at one?
Yeah,
What can I
think
have
about
at one instead of thinking
Hold on.
how
Think
do
about
I don't want a war room. I want something I can have at one.
Well,
think of it
see,
like you can't get certain facilities right now based on our level, but you got to start somewhere. So you start with the small stuff, and the stuff you'll want to do, like your lane towards will come when we're about, I think you said level 9.
Because
So,
at level 9 we
let-
can get in.
well, let me tell you where I was thinking of on this one. So I was thinking of because you're trying to make a like sort of bathhouse sort of thing. I was thinking of adding a sanctuary and selling holy symbols to people and making it sort of a, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that was what I was gonna do with Mora's second room instead of supplying you all with food. Because it was going to be my steam room.
Oh, El Toro could sell T-shirts. There we go.
Yeah, because then I can add it. If I were to add a sanctuary, we'd add holy users and holy symbols, which we could then sell to people and add it as a.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. You can't. That's not the purpose of the room, is it?
Yeah, it crafts holy symbols. It
Yeah, but
crafts sacred
don't
focuses.
you have to craft the holy symbols?
Nope. The facility crafts holy symbols. That's what it does.
Well, why don't you just start a temple and do that yourself?
I was just trying to make it a group project. If you don't want that, that's fine.
Well, no, but I'm. It's not that I don't want that, but it's like it's kind of crowding the aesthetic of having this spa thing, having a gift shop sort of thing. We're making beauty products and stuff that we can use in the spa. Throwing buy holy relics is not the it's completely different genre.
I feel refreshed in a new. Would you like some lucky heather, dearie?
Well, it's not even that. It's crosses, crucifixes, and what's it?
Do you feel bad in your sinful ways? Comfort is a sin.
Because they're not druidic. What's it called? Things. They're literally big ass crosses.
What?
No,
Yeah,
they can make druidic focuses.
don't know why it was Irish, Ollie. I don't know.
Yeah, they can craft
Everything's
druidic
always
folk-
Irish with you.
Yeah, it
It's
can
not
craft
all
druidic
Irish.
folk.
It's German. It's German a lot of the time. Yeah, I'm curious as to what El Toro would choose.
Well, I'm not overly familiar with how this works, but if I got to sell something, like, could I sell merch?
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to sell anything. Because my main idea wasn't literally to sell stuff. It was just literally what makes sense for a spa. Well, we'd be making, and my character is. That's
Oh
what my
yeah,
character does.
So
oh yeah.
yeah, he's doing the perfume thing. I'm making food because if I can make 100 days worth of rations in a week, you know, that's
Yeah.
something. I think
I remember
there's
that's why I thought of the gym, because that's sort of spa adjacent. They usually.
yeah, obviously, but that's more again. Hawk, what did you say the facilities were?
Well, the ones you have access to at the moment.
Yeah, the ones we have access to.
Um,
An arcane study, an armory, a barrack, garden, library, sanctuary, smithy, storehouse, workshop.
Yeah, I don't know what El Toro would want to use.
I
I don't
mean,
want to make suggestions because I don't want feel like I'm taking over and telling you what to do.
maybe a workshop for El Toro merchandise.
I mean, it could be also to help the people around the rest of the area to get supplies and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they could also do that, but El Toro's going to be most excited about the merch.
Oh yeah, I gotta have the El Toro head horns.
Yeah, the El Toro rally towels.
Oh God,
Do you remember?
I remember the Rowley towels. Yes.
uh,
I mean, I'd say because the only other thing I could think of you using would be like a smithy or an armory, but
and
you
I don't use weapons. Is the thing.
Yes, that I know that's the only thing. That's the only thing. So
I don't suppose there's a mechanism in D&D for just gauntlets to augment unarmed strikes, but then those would be weapons, so I imagine not. But so, like, if I were to use a Kestis or something. But yeah, no. I would probably go with the workshop for whatever useful items I could get out of that, and also merch.
Well, the hilarious thing is, you are aware you don't need to build a room. You could save the room and just have your little cottage of a room and a room. You could just keep your 4 and 2, at which point you are immune to being attacked. Because you don't have any facilities.
Hmm.
And then you could save it until you get to the higher tier, at which point you can build a animal and a arena and have you put on shows to fight fight creatures that you capture and charge it. You literally then you charge people to come and see it because that's in the game mechanic.
Would I need a specific ability to capture creatures?
Nope, you just need a net and ask the DM if you could capture this motherfucker.
Right. Yeah, I think I will do that, actually. Save it, because Arena does seem more in character.
Plus, it means that if you build the stables to keep beasts and stuff, you can start catching horses, just stealing people's horses and sell them, and donkeys and camels. You literally could just, when we leave an encampment, steal all their horses and sell them. Because that's what the stables lets you do. It lets you keep and sell horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means we get the funny line of, we said no camels, that's 5 camels.
Catch your count. Yeah, I think I'll. Yeah, I think I will wait and do that.
Because as I said, I looked into the not building anything. It's like, because you don't actually get attacked. If you get attacked, they will damage one of your facilities. If you don't have any facilities, they can't do anything to you. So it doesn't matter. You're basically immune to the roll.
Ah. Okay, so I'm gonna hold off for now and wait till we level up a bit so I can get the arena and the stables.
Plus, it means Hawk can just literally design you a 4x4 room with a 2x2 room on the side, and you just go, "This is my cabin. Fuck off. This is where I put all my shit." Because I think the ones you'd want stables, the arena, and the trophy room, so you can have like your Don Corneo sort of golden statue, your bell, your your Hydra head hung on the wall.
Yeah.
As they all come in, and you can just gamble, basically. Why can't I not? Oh, that's why.
There we go. I was just sorting the map out. There we go. There we go. And some light. Much light.
I said, because the what was it? The big thing about the combining thing is it only does any good if someone is taking a barracks. Because other than that, it just minimizes what everyone else can take. And considering the percentage chance of you rolling the attack thing is so stupidly low, is actually no point in combining the barracks, combining the bastions. You might as well keep everyone separate, so it doesn't minimize the options that you have.
Yeah, but
I say it
tended
wasn't
to
well thought
decide,
out.
like, I decided to make it that to combine it, or I just wasn't going to bother.
Oh, that's the thing. It's like they
I'm
are.
not running 6 bastions, like 5 bastions.
Well, no, that's the
It's
problem.
just
No matter what you
too
do,
much of
that
a
you are
pain.
you technically are running 6 bastions anyway, because they all have
Yeah,
to
but
roll
when they're
separately anyway.
Yeah,
They're still all in one area. They're still counted as one thing. But as I said, it's more of a village, more with the separate bastions than. I said that's why the rules really befuddled me, because it was like the it's like you don't get any benefit for it. It's no less work. It's more work for the GM having them put together, because you have to keep track of what everyone can have instead of just saying they're all individual.
see, what I would probably do, just a bit of a homebrew rule on this one, is I would probably have it that for events like attack,
Mm.
you would need to have at least 2 players get that result.
Yeah, which means it's
Because
very rarely going to happen.
yeah, because the idea that someone's just going to attack at this
Yeah.
point is
I
like,
always put it. If I was ever going to run bastions, what I would do is I'd make it an in-game thing more than a it happens
Yeah,
because of a
than a
random roll
random
that's
event.
very unlikely.
Yeah, because it is just, it does, as a random event, it just doesn't work.
Again, if I was having players combine the bastions, I wouldn't treat them all as separate. I'd just combine them into one thing.
I think it's, I mean, I think
Yeah, but
it's so that you can have benefits which only work for one person. Phil,
well,
I
I said
just
the
finished my
problem with
drink.
having them in one building like that is that it sort of limits creativity on what they are.
That's why I've actually separated them. I took out the outer
No, I'm not
wall
talking
and
about
put
having it
on
as
a-
one building. I'm talking about having the whole thing just go off one chart and treating it as one
Yeah.
entity.
Well, yeah, that's what you mean by combining them.
Okay, so it looked like El Toro didn't actually want to add anything.
No, not yet.
Um,
Not yet. Gonna wait till I can get the arena and the stables.
Current we already have. I'll let Murgy pick his one if he wants to. Because oddly enough, there are a couple that could work with it. Like, with the idea that, like, the sanctuary. That could work quite nicely for your cover story. Then again, Autoro's one would work eventually.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's as
Because
I
it's
put
the
as
idea
a
of a
months
sleepy
of
on
idea
the
behind this.
yeah. I mean, it's not the most pretty map at the moment, but that's because I used some really stupid things on the first one, and they're a little bit fiddly.
I said, if I can remember how I did these bloody rooms, I'd actually have the map done by now.
No, as I said, I have got a very basic one done. As I said, it's not the most beautiful map, but it has got the gardens and stuff there as well. So, and the store. Well, once they've been finished being built.
Have I still got? I mean, I might have it in. Do I still have that?
I mean, at the moment, I haven't even put beds down yet. So,
Well, no, I had a 3D render in the D&D Beyond. What's it called? I can't remember where I put that. Can't even remember where I put the file for that.
oh, there we go. Dungeon decorations. Right after. Oh, busy day at work. I had to demonstrate how to pick up a cucumber with a bag on my hand.
There are so many questions to ask.
Even a boulder. Okay, well that's the gardens and the warehouse. I'll probably make some tweaks to it during the week to make it a little bit more sensible. Add some bedroomy things.
So I'll do a full scanner eventually for all my items and see if I can find it.
Okay. So, were people just going to wait? Well, just help build the things for that first week, or
Might as well get familiar. Have our characters at least get familiar with the Bastion.
El Toro will help build things. He's good. He's a good heavy lifter.
Bonding exercise.
um, there we go. Is that sorted?
I'd like to build a sanctuary, and I don't know what other facility I want. Would the workshop be helpful for you to build stuff?
I said only your minions and you can use the workshop.
Yeah, but you can use the stuff it makes.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't help me get them. I don't actually think the workshop makes anything useful. Well, so you're taking most of the building ones for the ability to make scrolls or magical items, not for Because I assume you were going to take the study so you could just make infinite healing scrolls or something.
Well, I was going to take the sanctuary in the barracks originally. Because then we'd have some defense. And a temple that can sell holy. That can sell druidic focus as a holy symbols. Because then the barracks would provide us with guards that can, keep order. Because if we're setting us up like a bathhouse town, then having guards is probably a good idea.
The fuck's the export button? Trying to find where my export button is. Oh, my link's gone dead. It's download. I forgot to put what's it called. Six.
Okay, well, I've made a few rooms. Messes it up. Oh, that's better. Can do something with that. I think that's probably as much as we can do for tonight. Bit of an early ending for today, but as I said, I think we've kind of hit an impasse.
An impasse.
So I'll leave it there for today. I'd like to thank our players, and unfortunately, I'm going to be working Friday now, so won't be able to do Final Fantasy, but we might do it tomorrow. Depends how I feel when I wake up. Starting FF4, so maybe see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Just finished.